Hey YouTube, if anybody's on the fence whether they want an X Series John Deere or a D Series Deere, I'm going to do a quick review on the John Deere X330. Just a quick walk around. I have not mowed with this yet. I just picked it up a couple days ago. I've been researching these things for probably about 2 months. And I came to the conclusion that I wanted to spend the extra cash and get an X Series for several reasons, which I will go over as I'm walking around this. So first off, this is the John Deere X330. We'll jump right into it with the engine. This has a Briggs & Stratton 20 horsepower. It's basically an Intech line engine with a cyclonic air filter on it, so apparently that makes it a commercial engine. There's not much information on this engine other than I could tell you if you take the engine model and punch it in on briggsandstratton.com, the owner's manual pops up, and the URL at the top of the line will actually say BS Intech dash blah 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 blah. So that means I'm basically assuming the main part of this engine is all Intech parts, but because it has a better air filtration system, it's going to last longer because there's going to be less particles getting sucked in, you know, how that goes, whatever. Very easy to maintain. It's got an air fuel filter right here, spark plugs. There's one there, one on the other side. Air filters under here, very easy to open up, access that. Come over to the other side, the oil drain. This is one thing I wasn't a big fan of on this engine, is it has that Briggs & Stratton rubber hose thing, which, yeah, I could see that being handy for a homeowner. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of rubber down there. We'll have to keep an eye on it, see if it dry rots or cracks or anything like that, but being that I maintain my own stuff, I don't think that's going to be an issue. The Transaxle is a K46. Now there's different varieties of these, and basically this one, to my understanding, actually has about 25% more torque than the Transaxles that are on the D series tractors. If you compare this to, say, a D130, that has a TLT 200 transmission, which has lower torque than this one. This is not a garden tractor transmission. If you try doing too much stuff with it, you could definitely blow it. Which brings me to the next point. You may see on the back here I have this high hitch attachment. That is for this utility trailer right here, which is 4 foot by 8 foot. I don't plan on towing it all over the place loaded with firewood or anything. It's more just to move it into the backyard, and maybe in the fall I have a sugar maple tree out back that has a ton of leaves that fall. I might just use a trailer just to throw all the leaves in that, bring it out front for the village to grab. Which, all in all, with the weight of the trailer and the leaves, I can't imagine it'd be over 400, 500 pounds maybe at most. And I'm only towing it a very short distance, so I'm really not too worried about the Transaxle with that. Now, some other features on this that are a little bit different than the D series, actually I'll leave this open, is the frame. I think the frame weighs about 80 pounds more than the D series frames. Some of that metal's right here, this whole steering column system. I don't think the D series has all this metal right there. The steering, certain parts on the steering are a little bit different. This has a 16-inch turning radius. Very easy to turn the tires. I mean, I'm on concrete, but putting very little effort on it. The D series is an 18-inch, so some of the steering components are obviously different on this one. Now, the meat of it, the mower deck. When I was in Lowe's looking at a D130, I grabbed the mower deck and I went like this. This one moves a little bit, but I grabbed that D130 and I was shaking it left and right. It's very loose. Some of your, like your tie rods and just some of your components on the D series are a hell of a lot thinner. This is definitely way beefier. This deck, if you pull it off, there's like some metal on the bottom that's reinforcing it. Just feels solid. Greasable spindles. You can see the grease fitting down there. It has reinforcements on the front wheels. I think a D series only has one piece of metal. This one's on both sides. I added the mulch kit, which I put on myself because the local Deere dealer wanted like $100 to install it. Basically all that is you have a lever here that goes forward, backwards, and what that does is it opens that right there. So right now it's in mulch. You open it and then it side shoot. Comes with new blades too, which are different than the ones that are on it. They're just the mulch blades. You can also notice right here you have this reinforcement bar, and the side shoot definitely is a lot more solid. Another difference between this and a D series is even your foot pedals here. You got your reverse, your forward. These are all metal. If you look at the D series, I think it's like a little plastic stub that sticks out at an angle. The front bumper, I believe, is a little different. You got this whole piece of steel right here with holes that might be for the snowblower attachment or something like that. Obviously the front headlights and the whole front of the tractor looks a lot different than D series. And another big difference is instead of having a fender mounted height adjustment for your deck, you use this foot pedal right here, which if you put a snowblower on or even the plow, that's a hell of a lot nicer because it attaches on this and you can just use your left foot to go up and down. Other than that, you obviously have a bigger seat, open back for ventilation. The gas cap is right here on the side, which is really nice because it's easily accessible. When you sit on it, you have this big electronic display. I'm not a big fan of stuff like this. It just seems to me like it'd be more stuff that breaks, but it's going to be garage kept, so really not too worried about it. It's lit up, obviously. You got your fuel gauge, park and brakes engaged. On the far right side, you have your voltmeter. Bottom right, I got 0.2 hours on this, so obviously I basically want to pick this thing up, got it off my trailer, and it's been parked. You have an individual choke, just like the Kawasaki engine on the X330. So when you go to start it and it's cold, you just put that up there and it's a spring activated, it fires right up, boom. Other than that, electric PTO. The controls on this are basically the same as the X300, all the other X300 series. You definitely get a lot more tractor when you jump into this series versus the D series, in my opinion. I've never had a D series, but out of all the research that I've done, I would say it's well worth it if you want a tractor to last and you're going to take care of it. Spend the extra money and get this, at least this series. I'll fire it up real quick just so you can hear it run, and that's about it for my walk around. I'll update this review maybe when my grass actually starts growing. So you gotta choke it. If I could do this with